Go Blue, everybody. We got spring game final thoughts and key takeaways. We've got recruiting news. We've got NFL draft and more, all coming up next on Michigan Wolverines Live. And welcome back to another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live. My name's John Diadamo, and I'm going to be taking you through the next hour or so. Our 196th episode, getting so close to 200. We are coming to you live from YouTube. We're coming to you live from Twitch, X, and on your commute, you can listen to us. We sound great on radio. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, all of the above. If you listen to any of those, you can catch Michigan Wolverines Live. You can catch some other content that we're putting out there is also on audio. So check it out and leave a rating or review if you get a chance to do so. Hit that like button as you join us. It just takes a second and it's free. Subscribe and hit the bell to know when we're live, when we're whether it's us, whether it's the call-in show, whether it's the new episode of Victor's Voice, or whatever the situation is. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell and share this YouTube link out with at least one friend. If you do that, you share it, you put it on the Discords. That's all great stuff. And last but certainly not least, send a super chat. If you want your comment or your question to be on screen, we got some meaty topics tonight. Obviously, we met a lot of you at the spring game and we watched the spring game. We have takeaways, we have thoughts. If you want your comment, you want your question to be read and highlight on screen, we're going to ask you to just send a super chat, $1.99 or up to have your comment or question read. Without further ado, we finally got to hang out in person in Ann Arbor. TJ in the house. What a weekend, TJ. That was a great time.
It was a great weekend. And breaking news, we're doing it again next year. That's how good of a weekend it was. We had a great ass time. Friday was about almost as perfect as it could have been. Just the way that all went down. We'll get into that. And Saturday was a really good time too. I do see we have a super chat from a friend we met over the weekend. We'll get into the whole Skeeps situation. Let's just say things got crazy. But yeah, man, great weekend. It was excellent meeting everybody, seeing everybody, getting faces to names, all of that. That was cool. And just being at the game. That was a really fun experience. And honestly, we have all discussed this is something we want to do every year. And we want to make it better every year. So hopefully next year we can plan it even a little bit better now that we know what to expect. Be on the lookout for that. Douglas, my guy, thank you for the beer. You're the man. I appreciate you. He bought me some brewskis. We tried to get more, and then they sold out. What is going on? Keep the shit stocked, boys. Come on. People want their alcohol, but anyways, it was a good time. Had fun.
Ridic, yeah. Yeah, it was great to see some of you. Obviously, hey, Kiyoki, great. Obviously, you were missed. But we saw Micah score that touchdown. And I texted him right away. I was like, I don't know if you've heard yet. Something just happened. And so he was there in spirit. Wolverine, formerly in Ohio's here. Moose is here. Detective Wolverine, GT, thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to cover our weekend a little bit more and the kind of overall spring game discussions there. Aaron Burke's here. And let's hit this real quick. Let's hit this we got 2 super chats already. We got one from Wolverine, formerly in Ohio, with the 5. So never saw none of y'all at Skeeps. I ran into quite a few notable people there. Okay, yeah. That's very cool. And got lots of pictures that I can't post due to age-related reasons. Yeah. So,
so we went to dinner at Ashley's, had a good dinner. Yeah. We went to Skeeps, and bro, it was lined up all the way into the parking garage. There was just no way. So we were like, fuck it. So we just bailed on it. we were down, but unfortunately there was just we got there like 10 something. That was our biggest issue, but it is what it is. We did not make it to Skeep. Well, we made it to Skeeps, but we didn't make it into Skeeps. The line was just too long. And quite honestly, I didn't feel like throwing like $50 at the guy at the door to get cut in front of the line. So I was like, fuck it. It is what it is. So next year we'll try and plan that a little bit better. But sorry we missed you, buddy. We did get you there Friday night. That was a good time. You are in one of the pictures we are going to show here in a moment. But yeah, man, it was good meeting you and your brother Peyton.
Absolutely. Let's see. Jason's asking about Marmar.
Yes.
So we did manage to track. We did chat with Marmar a bit. So
yeah. We did. We found Marmar. Yeah, we found him Sunday. We found him.
Yeah, just a day passed. You know. But Elisha with the 5. Guess how many I knew Elisha was going to say something. I knew it. Guess how many catches Fred Moore and Samaj had combined? Hint, Samaj's jersey number.
Yeah, we after the game we were talking about how Elijah's gonna not be too happy with that performance. So it is. We'll dive deeper into the game and what's going on with the wide receivers and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. Actually, real quick, we do want to just remind everybody to join the Connor Stallions Espionage Tour tier or any of our membership tiers. And we do, of course, have that reminder from the man himself, Connor Stallions, here to endorse it.
What's up, guys? Connor Stallions here. Appreciate you for being a part of the highest tier, the Connor Stallions team. Appreciate you. Go Blue. We need you dialed in this year. We got to make another deep run into March, ideally into April this year. Go Blue. And also, we're going for 5 in a row against the Buckeyes in football. And let's get back in the playoffs and win this thing again. Go Blue. Keep being great.
Keep being great. Excellent words from the legend himself.
Facts. So if you want to join the Connor Stallions Espionage team or any of our tiers of membership, you get the emojis, you get all the good stuff. And then as you go up the tiers, you get more access to membership streams, to other things that we're doing. Connor Stallions tier, you get to post suggestions and have kind of a little bit of a say, or at least a suggestion opportunity. So one of our suggestions was a mock draft, which we did film, that will be coming out in a couple days. So that was a Connor Stallions suggestion, and we did it. And so that's just the type of thing we do for Connor Stallions members, and you can go ahead and join that tier, $9.99, $9.99 a month. But here we go. This weekend in Ann Arbor, all 6 Avengers were there, and we got to meet a lot of you in the community. Great time had by all in Ann Arbor. Man, I'm glad we did this. It really did kind of come together. Obviously, whether it was meeting Wink Martindale and chatting defense with Wink Martindale, or whether it was meeting some fans, or whatever the case may be, we really got a couple of opportunities to hang out with everybody. And whether you stopped by during our live or whether you were at Hailgate, whatever the situation was, really, really cool to meet so many of you, and just talk ball.
Yeah, man. And that's our guy Dre there from Hailgate. Shout out to him. Shout out to John for also allowing us to link up there and stuff. But yeah, man, just a great weekend. Literally. Like 4 individuals like us and Maze Madman, Maniac, Kinetic, Johnny Olden. It was just a perfect weekend for all of us to get together and literally talk ball. I mean, we were watching, while we were in the Airbnb, we were watching film of the Rose Bowl, film of national title game, right? Then we go out and we're talking more ball. We meet a bunch of people. I met people that I'm connected with on social media. We met a bunch of fans. It was just a really good experience. Running into Wink Martindale coming up to us was cool. Just stuff like that. Great dinners. just an excellent time. So it was an excellent weekend. I'm telling you, the intent is to definitely do it again next year. So if you guys were not able to come this year and you guys want to do it next year, we'll also try and plan it better. Shout out to Troy too. Big Troy ran into you, man. Like I mentioned, I DM'd you, man. I said, I wish we could have spent a little more time together. I do apologize for that. I feel bad actually, because you know, I've been wanting to meet you, man. So next time I'll try and spend a little, you know, try and make sure we can do that. But yeah, it was a good time. And our house was epic. The house we were at was epic. We had you know, we just had the best location, John, you know, so it was just a really good weekend all in all. And outside of my parking ticket.
Yeah. Ann Arbor police will get you.
Yeah. You know, God forbid we park somewhere we shouldn't for 1 hour. You know, Jesus, is this not America?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What are we doing, bro?
I thought this was America. Moose is gonna
what are
like
we doing,
that one.
Man? But yeah, so outside of the parking ticket, fantastic weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great seeing Wolverine in Ohio. Really great kicking it with you nice Friday night.
Brother, bro.
You and your brother. That was so fun. I'm glad you thought it was worth the trip. And
even though you're a Bears fan.
We didn't get in till 3 a.m. Sunday morning. Well, listen, you know, I got in not at 3 a.m., but it was like midnight. It was like pretty. I was burning the midnight oil last night, but listen, it was worth every ounce of that travel to see everybody that was able to make it out. The spring game, I believe the official numbers for 45,000 in attendance for a spring game. That is absolutely out of this world. And I think it's partly because everybody wanted to see the exciting new quarterback that was playing. And with that said, we did get to see a true freshman, right, who probably should have been at prom this weekend, but instead he was playing a spring game. And so I guess kind of high level, like, what are your kind of takeaways? Obviously, we're going to do when the show is broadcast on Sunday, we will have our post-game show, and we'll coordinate best time on that. And because I know I have a brunch thing too that I have to figure out how all that's going to work because I forgot it was Sunday. But we'll make it happen. We're going to do a post-game show, and listen, I guess just, you know, I was a little, I'm not going to lie, like I've had some time to sit on it. I was a little underwhelmed. If I'm being completely honest, I thought we were going to see a little bit more overall, but I have to remind myself that, you know, Bryce was playing without his best X receiver, with half of his O-line. So I'm trying to like keep it in the context of, you know, he was playing a very good defense, Wink Martindale's defense, with half of what he's going to have to work with during the season against the New Mexico Lobos in August. So,
yeah,
I don't know. So what do you think?
Yeah, so I just want to just preface right now and say I am excited to see the replay on Sunday because I just want to see more. But like we mentioned in Saturday's post game, if you watch this game, there's gonna be more to be desired. Okay, now it's offensively. Now Bryce Underwood, there are moments where you see this kid's potential. You see what he is capable of, right? But there are also moments in this game where you realize, and this is something that has been on my mind since discussing the Mikey Keene snap one game one thing, where it does still look like it'll be Bryce Underwood snap one game one. He's 17, man, and he makes decisions sometimes like a 17-year-old, and it's just what it is. But then there are these moments where you see this elite ability, whether it be him escaping the pocket, whether it be him going through his progressions, throwing excellent throws with velocity, accurate, but then he has the occasional throw where it's a little high, things like that, things you would anticipate a young player to go through. And that's just going to be the reality. It's going to be the reality that next year, if Bryce Underwood, and I know what our community wants, They want Bryce Underwood snap one, game one. Let's go through it. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's going to be moments where you're going to see a young quarterback. And that's something the community must embrace and must, must accept if that, and so I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear it 4 weeks into the season. And they're like, and they're pulling their hair out because Bryce Underwood makes a poor read or overthrows a kid. Now, the reality is over time, Bryce Underwood's going to get better and better and better. And let me also say this, something I've thought about since the spring game. The argument a lot of people make is, well, Chad Henne started as a freshman. Chad Henne had an elite offensive line with a loaded wide receiver room and an elite running back behind him. Bryce Underwood does not. Bryce Underwood has a wide receiver room that has holes, an offensive line that has gaps, and a running back room that is strong. So he has that. A tight end room that we're not sure about yet. So we need to be very mindful here. We have, and we'll get into this when we start talking about recruiting and the transfer portal, but we have holes on this roster, and we have critical holes on this roster. And that is my concern with Bryce Underwood. Okay, it's not Bryce Underwood. My concern is what's around Bryce Underwood offensively. Defensively, well, let's talk about that, John. It looks good.
Excellent.
Looks deep, looks strong. Let's also stress this too. A lot of the key guys, a lot of the key players, they pulled out early. Like your Rayshon Benny's, your Derek Moore's, your TJ guys. They got like 8 snaps.
Yeah, maybe 8. They were on a very low snap count.
Even Jordan Marshall offensively, like Donovan McCauley, although he played for the Mays team, he only had like a lot of the top guys, 8. We're talking 8 snaps here. We're talking 8 snaps. You know what I mean? They didn't play a lot, which is to be expected, and that happens on spring games. But I just want to I'm trying to caution the fan base when they watch the game Sunday to, one, let's not overreact. Because one thing I do think is an overreaction that I'm seeing on some of the observers of the game is the offensive line. And I know I just talked about the offensive line, but let me just say this. It is so hard to glean anything from a spring game because everybody's on different teams. You don't know what this looks like. We have no idea what this offensive line would truly look like with Bryce Underwood behind him. We don't know. So you have starters on Mays, you have starters on Blue. The starters are only getting like 10 snaps and they're pulling in other people. You have freshmen. You have Andrew Babalolo out there, true freshman. Like, it is just a hard, spring games make it difficult to truly gauge what you have. On top of this, vanilla playbook. Chip Lindsey's not calling plays. Wink Martindale's not calling plays. So let's please be mindful on what we see next Sunday. But I feel like I'm also setting this up like we're going to see a dead body Sunday. We're not. There's actually a lot to be excited about. You will see Donovan McCauley flash. You will see Justice Haynes flash. You will see this defense look dominant. The Metcalf brothers look freaking good. Shamari Earls looks scary good. Yeah, Shamari Earls looks like I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm the one player I was most impressed with was Shamari Earls. He looks ready. Like, he looks ready, man. He looks good. He looks ready. So there's a lot of bright spots. Defensively, it looks deep. It looks like there's a lot of rotation on the line. Defense is not. I feel we are going to be just fine defensively. Offensively, I don't want to say there's area for concern because it is just so hard to read. When you put the best players, when you put McCauley out there with Haynes and Marshall rotating, the best 5 offensive linemen. But then let's talk about this. Fred Moore drops. Multiple drops. I think he had 2 drops, right, John?
2 drops.
Samaj Morgan, non-existent.
Literally.
I am worried about wide receiver. I'm going to tell you guys this right now.
2 targets, no yardage.
My concern with this team is left tackle, and I know I've said this, so maybe I'm repeating myself, but left tackle, wide receiver. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get into this with the portal talk, and I do have a bit of a rant, and I know Ramez, I saw your super chat. I know we'll get to it.
Yeah, we will.
Figure it the fuck out, Michigan. Like, there's no reason to go. Like, we knew last year right tackle was a problem. We knew quarterback was a problem. They did nothing. And look at the year we had. Don't do this. Don't do this again, Michigan. We know where the holes are on this roster. Handle it. Okay? And I know there's some individuals on Twitter, no names. It's all respect. It's all love. We can disagree. That's fine. But I'm just going to let you know right now, when next season comes and these are glaring issues, This is why I'm saying the things that I am saying, because I'm trying to listen. There's nothing I can do to change what's going to happen. Like they're going to do what they do, but I'm trying to at least bring awareness to what could potentially be the hurdles or the issues for next season. Because outside of that, I think we have a really good roster. Like I want a team that has a run in a playoff, not a team that just competes for a Big Ten title. And my concern is Michigan is potentially settling here on this roster, and there's no need to, because we do have NIL. That's another thing too. It's not a lack of NIL, because that's not the problem, so we'll see. I mean, but again, let's just stress this too, John. I'll let you kind of follow up here. There is a lot of good in the spring game, but there's also areas where you're going to be like, shit. Like, come on, boys. Like we got to figure this out. And that's going to be some of the, and I'm going to tell you this now, Jaden Davis's throwing mechanics. No.
Still Garbo.
It's not good.
Yeah. So let me tackle some of what I thought were positives, and then what I thought were need for improvement. And I'm trying to keep in mind that this is nowhere near what the final ones are going to look like on offense and on defense. But look, Bryce Underwood, we've already spoiled most of the plays, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. But if you do want to wait till Sunday, you might want to just hit mute for like a minute or two.
Don't leave us.
Don't leave us. So Bryce Underwood, obviously, not only did he have a very impressive touchdown at the end with that reverse kind of double flea flicker situation, he showed off his legs a little bit. So he showed that he can make good decisions with the ball. He can sometimes, if he needs to use his legs, he'll use his legs. I think that they limited that because it's a spring game, but I do think that we saw flashes of why we went for this guy so heavily, why we outbid LSU to get this guy. We saw portions of that. We also saw him be a freshman, throw an interception. And TJ, one thing that I wanted to see, and I told you this Friday night, and I told Wolverine in Ohio, and his brother came out, is that I know Bryce is going to do some good things Saturday. What I want to see is how he responds when he throws a pick. Because I predicted Friday night he was going to throw a pick. I predicted Friday night there were going to be some freshman issues that he would need to rise above. And what I like to see in a guy who should be going to prom, but he's at a spring game, but he's going to be a true freshman. What I like to see is when he made the mistakes. We call it in startup land, in business, we call it fail fast, right? If anybody here has been in business, or anybody here has been at a startup, this is a line. This is a phrase that's used. Fail fast. Make your mistakes quick. Get your mistakes out there, and then learn from them and rally quickly. Bryce showed failing fast in about the best way you can show it. He had a rough first half. No one argues that. But I will say this, he rallied. And that's important in football, because you're going to have games, TJ. There's going to be games where Michigan's behind. There's going to be games where Michigan is not in the best position, or maybe a pick is thrown, or maybe a fumble happens, or maybe something goes wrong. And so that's something that I think transcends, the fact that they were split up, the fact that this goes to the mentality of the player. This goes to the fact that Bryce has that kind of cool customer, level-headed, but also dog mentality. Like, he's not going to let an interception rattle him and then throw 5 more. He's going to learn from it and adjust. And that did impress me from a true freshman.
Yeah, and so how about this? So let's kind of break down the stats of the game. So Bryce Underwood was 12 for 26, 187 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yep.
I believe he had an interception. They don't have that listed here, but I believe there was an interception.
Yep.
2 sacks. I would argue there should have been more than 2 sacks. I just don't think they blew the whistle.
Yeah.
Running, Justice Haynes, 6. I'm telling you, I think Justice Haynes is going to get this RB1. 6 attempts, 51 yards. He had a 26-yard long. Micah Capana, 15 attempts, 39 yards, 4 touchdown. And then receiving, Jalen Hoffman, 7 receptions, 148 yards, 1 touchdown. He was part of the flea flicker.
He was impressive.
Andrew
Jalen
Marsh
Hoffman was impressive.
Andrew Marsh, 2 targets, 1 reception, 12 yards. Channing Goodwin, 3 receptions, 23 yards. The Elijah special was it legendary game? What do we call those? What do we call those games?
Career games, or what
No.
was it? Legacy game.
Legacy games. I know. We thought it's legacy games. Legacy game, 3 for 23, Elijah. And then Frederick Moore, 2 targets, 0. That's not good. That's a problem. Let's go to the Mace team. So we got Jaden Davis here, 6 completions, 17 attempts, 74 yards, 4 sacks. He had the better line, by the way. That's another thing too. Wasn't it? It was Jaden Davis who had I think it was Mace's team that had the better line versus the blue team, which is something that I think it matters. And then rushing, Kuzdal, 14 attempts, 105 yards, long of 30.
Let's go.
Jordan Marshall, 4 attempts, 9 yards. Receiving for the Mace team, Donovan McCauley, 1 target, 1 reception, 25 yards. After they saw that, by the way, they're like, okay, you're done. You're done. We've seen enough. You're good. And then Samaj Morgan, Elijah, you're going to love this. 2 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. Amarion Stewart, 2 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. Peyton O'Leary, legacy game, 1 reception, 4 yards. Logan Forbes, we'll give him his flowers. 3 receptions, 42 yards. That's actually a true legacy game. That's kind of where we are, It was not an offensive explosion, but let's just also stress this too, and myself included. Spring game, Chip Lindsey's not calling this offense. It will be vanilla. The defense is going to be ahead of the offense. But it just would have been nice. All right, here's my biggest concern coming out of the spring game. Our wide receivers are not getting separation. That's a problem. It's going to make it a lot harder for these. It's going to make it a lot harder for these quarterbacks, man. The wide receivers now maybe Chip Lindsey's offense can scheme these guys open a little bit. Maybe so, and it's possible. I'm just letting you know, like, my concern. My concern is a lack of separation wide receiver, a lack of skill at the wide receiver position, and offensive line holes on the offensive line. Those are my concerns. Other than that, no concerns. No other concerns with this team.
Yeah. And look, I'm with you. I mean, I've been beating the drum on wide receiver for a while, and Ron Bellamy, maybe why is he coaching in 2025 was a question that I definitely had. I did see a little bit of separation. My issue was with what happens after the separation. Like that, I do think that you did see separation at times with some of these receivers. What I didn't see from these receivers was that chemistry, which does come with time, where once you do get that separation, you can't just like not run towards the ball. Like there were times that you even commented the one time, I forget who it was, but they just like stopped. It was like a deep shot and he just stopped running for it. And he just like stopped putting himself in position to get that catch.
I don't remember who that was.
I know, but it sticks in my mind because that's what we saw a lot. What we saw was they were getting a little separation. I'd say I'd like to see more, but my biggest issue was that Bryce and Jaden Davis. Bryce was throwing more accurately than Jaden Davis, but when they had an accurate ball sent to them and then they couldn't catch it. Like that's, again, we're going into Ron Bellamy special right there. It feels like nothing's changed when it comes to they can block because, that's the motto, no block, no rock. So they can still, these wide receivers can block and I think they do get a little bit of separation. Maybe that's what Soup has been talking about in practice. I don't know. But we're still missing that crucial third part, right? Which is obviously the connection, the catching of the football. And you saw a lot of drops. And we've just pointed out some of the starting wide receivers with 0 is a major red flag.
So fuck it. I'm just going to say this. All right, you know what's blowing my mind right now? Please, no one don't take this person. We can disagree. The people who are like, oh, we're fine at wide receiver. What makes you think that? Last year, this game, where? You show me where you see that. It's because you want to believe it, because it's your team, and you don't want to think it could possibly have a weakness. What is this? No. We have an issue at wide receiver, bro.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Now, Jalen Hoffman, who's a tight end, did have a really strong showing at receiving. He is a tight end though, so it's the same situation as last year where you have the tight ends outperforming the wide receivers. But 7 for 7, 148, that's pretty damn good. And I think he's fighting to put himself in a tight end 2 position with that type of performance. And he's not gonna beat out. Is he more like a Bredesen type, or is he more?
He's more of an H-back like Jalen Bredesen. He can play behind Bredesen. I mean, they'll probably rotate a little bit.
Which is wild because he was the best receiver. He was the best catcher of the football on both teams.
I want to give some flowers here to Steve Lorenz of 247. We don't typically give him a lot of credit all the time. Not that we don't knock him either, but one name he has mentioned that he was hearing from his sources was Jalen Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jalen Hoffman showed out, and and Steve Lorenz is really the only one I know who had that. So, some flowers to him. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty much an H-back behind the Max Bredesen. In the Max Bredesen position. So I mean, he'll only get so much run, but I mean, hey, it's good to see him flash. It's good to see him actually make plays. I'm just like, I'll be real. For me right now, my biggest thing is like, man, I wish I could just see this offense play as a unit with its best guys. Best starting 5 offensive linemen, and just really see how it really looks. But we're just not going to get it. We're not going to get that till September. So we're going to have all off season to kind of ponder and speculate, and hopefully Michigan can land a portal addition or 2, which we'll get into.
Yeah, this is literally all we have till August. So
I know, and it sucks because I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied.
No.
I am
on defense.
Yeah, I'm very
defense. I'm very satisfied.
I'm overly excited on defense. But yeah, offensively, I have some concerns.
Yeah. And also obviously we want to protect Svada because Stuart Blake was ass. He was not very good. He got 1 gimme field goal, but missed the other 2. So we want to. Hollenbeck actually didn't do terribly as the punter, but I can also see why they're bringing in some competition to.
You know what's interesting about that, John? So as we know, Bauer committed Saturday.
Yeah.
When you compare Bauer and Hollenbeck actually had a better season. Or I'm sorry. Tommy Doman last year, the punter that they got rid of, actually had a better year than Bauer, and we were not pleased with Tommy Doman. Now, Tommy Doman was a consistency issue. Now, maybe Bauer is more consistent, but one thing I said on the post game Saturday about the addition of Bauer, his net punting average is 93rd in the nation. It's like 41.5 or something. That's not like. I have a feeling we're not gonna be happy with that if that's the answer. Okay, so now I will say this though: if he's consistent though, like if he doesn't have shanks, if he doesn't have good games and bad games, then maybe consistency is the answer. And maybe we will be like, okay, it's good enough. He's not a weapon. Let's put it that way. He's not going to shift the field. It doesn't appear that he has that ability, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we will see. I mean, I think that that's definitely something we're going to continue to look at. So I think all across the board, I'm not satisfied on offense, but we only got half the picture. And there, something to keep in mind is that Bryce Underwood played one of the best defenses he's going to face all year, with half of the Mays team defense is, I think, still better than like half of the ones, and then the 2s, I think, is still better than 8 or 9 of the teams that Michigan's going to be facing. Maybe even better than 10 of them. I mean, it's basically down to a couple that will be better as a cohesive unit than Michigan's Mays team defense was. So Bryce had to face a very difficult defense for his first ever like live game, and New Mexico is going to be like a walk in the park compared to what he just had to do.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so we have a lot of super chats, people commenting on this. Any final thoughts before we get to those?
No, I have said my piece, John.
All right. Okay, so let's see. So Remez, we kind of covered this one, but I want to just read it because of the contribution here. I don't want to keep hearing the repeat of NFL-like management, like we used to say, transformation. You overspend on positions of need. Good to see, TJ. So I know that Remez, you guys linked up for.
I was in the beer line, and Remez was with his kids, so it was good to see Remez. We were talking a little, but yeah, definitely good to see Remez. Remez, you're not wrong, bro. Like I'm getting frustrated with this. Like we know what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
We knew what the issue was last year. Solve it, man. Solve it. Call a fucking agent. Get a guy in the portal. Teams do it all the time. All the time. It is that easy. Overpay. I don't give a shit. Solve it. Because if you don't and it becomes a problem next year,
right.
I don't even want to like say what, another 8-5 year. Who the hell is going to be okay with that? With that schedule, I'm telling you right now, like don't play with fire, Michigan. Don't do it because the fan base, they support you. They love you. They'll do everything for you. Do not alienate your fan base because we all know what the problem is. And you're not, and it's not NIL. That's not the problem. We know the resources are there.
Yeah. At this point, it seems like stubbornness.
Yeah.
It seems like
it's philosophy.
Let's go get some running backs. Let's go get now punter. I agreed with. Now I don't know if whether Bauer was the right choice. That remains to be seen. I don't know what the pickings were at punter other than him. But I do think we needed to bring in a punter. So there's one check, right? But then where's the wide receivers? Where's the left tackle? So yeah, I'm a little concerned that we aren't seeing that. Like you just spent $12 million to get the best quarterback and the best rated recruit of all time. And you're not getting a left tackle to protect him.
What are we doing? And now there's a part of me that thinks, okay, they're probably constructing the roster and they don't want to block Babaloa, but he's not ready yet. Like he will be. He might even be ready at the end of the year, but he won't be week 1. Babaloa.
That's something I want to watch when I see the game again. I want to see how Babalola does because that's something I kind of missed looking at live because I was so busy trying to watch the plays as they were happening and watch Bryce and watch Jaden Davis that some of the line play I didn't really get to catch live. I want to see how kind of he performed.
Yep,
but I'm with you there.
Yeah, and then also to hit on that, Sharon Moore talked about 3 starting offensive linemen: Andrew Sprague, Giovanni El-Hadi, Greg Crippen. The other 2 positions are open. We just had an entire spring practice, and we saw on Saturday like Evan Link wasn't, he wasn't dominant. I'll tell you this: I am actually high on Nathan Afobe. I think we're gonna be fine at right guard. And there's a lot of positive out of camp about Nathan Afobe, so I do think we'll be fine at right guard. But just solve it. Pay the like Cotton, the kid who went to Cincinnati. I don't know what happened there. Now maybe his demand for NIL was too great, or actually, well, there was potentially and I can't confirm this, but I have heard that there was a potential admissions hurdle. Potentially, but I'm not so sure. I mean, if that was the case, and that makes a lot of sense why he went to Cincinnati, but I don't know. I cannot like go get a Ladarius Henderson like you did the year before or 2 years ago. I'm sorry. Go get a Ladarius Henderson, a guy who's a borderline NFL draft projected. Do it. It's just crazy to me. Get a wide receiver who you can sell to him, hey, you're going to be an alpha on this offense. I can guarantee you a spot on this roster because you produced last year. I know what you can do. Because guess what? Fred Moore's not doing it. Samaj Morgan's not doing it. Donovan McCulley we got. I do feel good there. but the other guys are not. B-Dub, who was there at the game with us. Exactly. B-Dub sitting, by the way, nice shirt, B-Dub. We should got a picture with you in that shirt. I know we did, but we should have got more. He says himself, he was sitting with us in the stands. My disappointment, honestly, is the wide receiver room. Spring game showed me that. I think we all saw that. Everyone, all 45,000 of us watched that game and said, not what is going on, but this needs to be better, wide receiver room wise.
Thanks for the nachos, by the way.
I don't know. I do feel like I'm venting a little bit. I do think we also need to just take it with a grain of salt to an extent, but I do think there's cause for concern with wide receivers and offensive line.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. I think I'm scratching my head thinking, what are they thinking right now? Why aren't they going out to get another wide receiver? The comeback that I've heard from some is, well, they already did. They got McCauley. But I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, they could double him. They could bracket him, but maybe Chip Lindsey has a scheme up. We do have wide running backs who should be dynamic. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I just don't see why you don't solve your issues.
Yeah.
I just don't see why you don't get one more. It doesn't got to be elite, but very good wide receiver and a quality starting left tackle. Just do that. Just do that. We'll be just fine. We will be a playoff team. Don't you want us to be in the playoffs? I'm sure you do, Sean McGee. Let's do that.
Elisha with a good point here with the $4.99. I hear a lot about Bryce, but I don't think the sports media analysts realize how dangerously deep this defense is at all levels. And Elisha, that was the bright spot by far. I saw the defense, and it wasn't even a lot of times the starters. They were just balling out. We are deep at most positions, and we don't even have Rod Moore back yet. We are deep. And I think this defense can beat anybody on the roster. And I think it's really the offense that we're being critical about, because we heard all the smoke. We heard all the rainbows and puppies last year about how great the offense was going to be. And we got burned by that. And it wasn't just reports from Sharon Moore and his press conferences. It was reports coming from everywhere that they were killing it. They were doing X, Y, and it was all a mirage. And so we're going to be more critical this year, because we got, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to be more critical.
And there's no reason not to solve these needs. It's not like we have 5 needs. We have 2. There's 2 needs. Solve them.
Right.
Because they're 2 big needs. Big need. They're big needs. So, we'll see. I mean, listen, we have a good roster. We will be a good team. But I think we are all, this is Michigan. We don't want to be just good. We want a playoff run. I want a playoff run. I don't want to waste Bryce Underwood's 3-year window here. I don't want to burn a year just because we want to be frugal.
I know. The defense is ridiculous, though. I'm going to agree with you there. It is. Yeah, I'm very happy with the defense. JG King, who we got the chance to meet. Great dude.
Great fucking dude, bro. Great energy, brother. I love you, man. Appreciate it. It was nice meeting you. Look forward to seeing you again. If not before next spring game, at least next spring game.
And not only that, he's gifted 5 Michigan The Voice of College Football memberships. So 5 people. I don't see who got them, but 5 people got Those Who Stay Will Be Champions membership. So thank you, JG, for that. Elisha coming back. A lot of wide receiver drops. Deep balls were a hair over, but some solid wide receivers with some speed would get those balls. But time will tell.
Yeah, I agree. Let's grain of salt it. Listen, they have all summer and fall camp to improve, and they will improve. All right, that's the thing. They will improve, but I'm just saying, listen, here's what I know. Here's what I guarantee you. Offensive line, we have some holes. Wide receiver, we have some holes. And I feel confident in saying that if we do not do anything about those may be issues for us in the fall. Other than that, I don't see holes on this roster. I see a very strong team with a lot of impact players with good depth at a lot of very critical areas, So, I mean, like, dude, I'm not worried about corner. I know there's some people who have like depth concerns with corner. Tevis Metcalf, Shamari Earls, Josiah Edmond. No, I am not worried at freaking corner. We are just fine. Then you add in the veterans, Ricky Johnson and Caleb Anderson. We're fine, dude. And then you got Jaden Sanders, the true, although he won't play, but we're fine. Corner is not an issue for me. And Jeremiah Lowe at nickel with the 2 picks. Geez, like I know Winston will be in as a true freshman, Brian Branch Jr. I mean, I have zero concern with nickel or with corner.
Absolutely. Nick asking who made it rain in the club Saturday. TJ, John.
We made it by the club.
We made it by. Yeah, we were by a couple of clubs. Yeah. We did have.
Hey, who made it rain? You know who made it rain? Mike Layton. Shout out to Mike Layton.
Yeah, Mike Layton.
Yeah, he did.
That
through big time.
I'd say if you had to pinpoint somebody who made it rain, Mike Layton.
Mike Layton made it rain.
Elisha, Michigan has the same problem since week 1, 2024. Yeah, exactly. And then elaborating here, wide receiver and tackle. Yeah, I mean, I think wide receiver's been an issue for a long time, except for Roman Wilson and sometimes Cornelius Johnson. Wide receiver's been an issue and an underperformance in this team.
Please give me Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying yes, Roman Wilson was in 2023 he killed it. Like nobody denies that. But on the whole, Ron Bellamy and then Gaddis before him, it left a lot to be desired with the wide receiver coaching. And so to see it continue and to see the same things that we saw in 24 and at times in 23, 22 with a better quarterback, it's like that we can point out, even though it's a split squad, people in the chat saying why are you evaluating an offense when it's half the team? Well, I'm going to tell you why, because there are things that happened in 2024 that we saw happen again in the spring game, and they are worth pointing out.
And we do agree that the offense is split and Chip Lindsey is not truly calling the offense. So like what we are saying is, we're bringing you things to be mindful of. We're not saying it's doom. This offense will be better than last year. But again, I'm not looking for just good. I'm looking for elite. Like Michigan needs to be elite. There's no reason it shouldn't be elite. Like not making the playoffs is not acceptable. That's all. That's it. I just want to be a top 12 team in the playoffs. And I want to make a competitive run. That's it. That's my standard. Well, beat your rivals, win the Big Ten, make a playoff run. Those are the standards of Michigan. So we'll see. I mean, listen, I'm not saying it can't happen either. We may very well achieve that. But it's just things that we noticed on Saturday. And those things, to John's point, were what we saw last year. And those are concerns.
Yep. Elisha with the 499. Bryce did a lot better in the second half. Yes, he did. Back-to-back fourth down conversions. He just doesn't have the explosive weapons around him to maximize his talent. Well, I think McCauley is an explosive weapon.
I was just going to say, give him McCauley, right? Give him McCauley. Give him both Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes. Right? Give him the 5 best offensive linemen against our ones on defense. I'd love to see what that looks like. So again, you don't see that. And like I said, a lot of the top players only played about 8 snaps and they pulled them. So we didn't see what Michigan's fully capable of, like at all. I mean, but we got a taste. That's what we got, a taste.
Right. Elisha, Goodwin and Marsh were the only ones with separation. Yeah, these were the two that I was kind of thinking about earlier, TJ, when we were talking about separation. I saw Channing Goodwin quite a few times get separation. Andrew Marsh got separation, but then what happens after the separation, right? What happens with the like maybe you have good route running, you have good separation, but there's an important third part to every wide receiver play, and it's catching the ball. So we're still shaky there.
Mm. Yeah.
But I did see separation from both of them. Elisha Goodwin looks better than Moore. Both are 6 foot. Yeah, Goodwin does look. I mean, Channing Goodwin had some moments, and it does look like Bryce really likes Channing Good. Like it seems like they have a good chemistry, good connection. Because Bryce went to Channing Goodwin a decent amount. I mean, it was noticeable.
Yeah, it appears there's chemistry with those two.
Yep. Nick says, John, where's your fucking bow tie, bro? Damn it. I was supposed to wear a bow tie today?
I think it's because you're wearing a button up. Nick, relax, Nick.
Oh.
Come on, my guy here.
Oh, I have this thing. I have a job. I don't know if everybody knows this, but I do meetings during the day. I just keep the shirt. I keep the shirt on. So, because I like
He's
the
not beat up,
look.
Nick. All right, he's
know?
not coming shirtless. All right, buddy.
Yeah. Elisha, unpopular opinion. We see a few clips of practice, then we get hyped. The coaches talk, and then we get hyped. How much should we take with a grain of salt? Elisha, I think you take everything. You take everything that they're saying that's coach speak, and you take it with a grain of salt.
Here's how I look at it. What are we getting out of practice? What are we seeing in film? What do we already know about the team, right? Who's returning, whatever. And what do we see on Saturday in spring game? If these things all are conclusive, right? What do we know? We know the defense could be good. We see it everywhere. We see the players they've added. We've heard it out of camp. We saw it on Saturday's practice. We saw last year was a top 10 unit. We know that, right? And then to your point on like, okay, these throws, 1 out of 10 throws are these dimes, or maybe it's 1 out of 8, maybe it's 1 out of 6. I don't know. The offense is where I think we just have to take that with a grain of salt. We don't know. Remember when Davis Warren was throwing 88% in practice, or was it 90 or whatever?
Yeah, 88, 89%.
Alex Orgy's going through progressions and making his throws and is an improved passer. Never again. Never forget. No, we're not falling for that shit. So we're just being respectful. We're being respectfully critical. And listen, man, we fully support the team. We want them to do nothing but succeed. But these are just areas as a fan that are concerning. That's all.
Elisha said we could have combined those 2 mid running backs NIL deals we got in the portal and grabbed a solid wide receiver. Why is Michigan allergic to wide receiver?
Elijah's cutthroat, bro. Why they mid, Elijah? I actually like the CJ Hester edition.
Yeah, they're not necessarily mid.
Yeah, and who knows what their NIL deals even are? I mean, like, I can't imagine they're premium. But I mean, to your point, I disagree with the mid running backs. I like CJ Hester, but yeah, it'd be nice. I just don't get why they're not spending money wide receiver. And I know people are like, well, wide receivers don't want to come. Then you pay them to come. What does a franchise do in the NFL to turn it around? You have to pay a tax to get them to come. And that's what you need to do. So pay that tax to prove that we can have a very effective offense. Get that. So Wolverine formerly in Ohio said we only have 105 roster spots. So from my understanding, I know we just added 3 people. We are below 105. So I have to check. I know just like as of a week ago, we were below 105. But guess what? The portal's open. You can tell people to go. And coaches do that. So tell the people who are not caught in it to go. And don't give me this or student athlete shit, because that's done. We're building competitive rosters around here. And then add some players through the portal. You know?
For sure. Russell with the 2. Call Joe Cotton's agent right now and offer $1.5 million for Joe Cotton.
So he has committed to Cincinnati. So he's no longer available. Although, I mean, you could get him to re-enter the portal. We've seen that happen.
Yeah. The Cincinnati thing is kind of mind-blowing, but my hypothesis or my thought on that is that Cincinnati probably just blew their whole load on Joe Cotton. So I think they just probably shot a lot of their NIL at him to shore up that position.
Did they shoot their load at him, John?
Pause. Yeah. Yeah, but but yeah, no, I think that was a whiff though. I don't Michigan losing to Cincinnati on a portal situation is kind of wild. Elisha with the 499. I know people said QB was the number one problem last season or the O-line, but I've always saw the wide receivers as the clear number one issue. Good wide receivers make mid quarterbacks look good. Yeah, and good quarterbacks made mid wide receivers look good too.
That's true.
Goes both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're just got to see here.
Yep.
We're just got to see here.
Yep. We've got Blue Wolverine in the house. He is throwing membership gifts around. Blue Wolverine is always here going hard in the paint. And obviously on all the podcasts, we appreciate you. Keegan's back as a member thanks to Blue Wolverine. We got JTL, Mason Roble, Frank Archie, and Deuce. All 5 of you are now Those Who Stay Will Be Champions members. Thanks to Blue Wolverine. So go ahead and throw that Blue Wolverine emoji in there.
Yeah, welcome to the community. Elisha.
Once again, our best receiver of the day is a tight end. Big surprise, right? Big surprise.
It definitely fits Elijah's narrative.
And it's a Bredesen type too. He's going to be a fullback H-back guy, and he had the most reception. He had the highest number of passing completions, passing yardage. Was a Bredesen type, so that's pretty wild. Elisha says there's no way Michigan fans think Bryce came to Michigan because of school or culture. We paid him. We need to get wide receivers just like how we got Bryce. Well, I think school culture and being a hometown guy had some impact. I don't think it was all the money.
Not all money.
No. The money was
great.
Matters.
Money matters.
Big time.
It matters. But listen, it matters. But the brand matters, guys. The program matters. The academics do matter. I assure you the academics have some effect here. But they are not the priority, right? Like the reality is these kids were seen with NIL. And this is not a shot at Bryce or anybody. They're making financial decisions. Some are poor, like our guy Nico at UCLA. And then some are wise, like Underwood just made coming here. And I know we're biased. Like you say, oh, you're biased, you're Michigan fans. No, LSU was nowhere near the financial offer that Michigan gave. And then on top of that, you have what comes with that. Jersey sales, which, by the way, I was trying to get a Bryce Underwood jersey. Can't get one. Rally House does not carry those. I'll have to get one online. But yeah, I mean, like there's jersey sales. You got the autographs. You got the hometown hero component. You got the marketing. You got the donors that Michigan has that LSU doesn't have. So, I mean, it matters. It's everything. It's a bit, listen, these kids have agents. And these agents and marketing agents, they have marketing agents. Some of these kids, I don't know about Bryce particularly. I know some of these other kids have marketing agencies. They're making business decisions. School has a place. It's just business and football are priority. I think that's Elijah's point. But football and financial decisions are the priority in a lot, not all, but a lot of these kids' decisions.
There we go. Tree Dog with the double dip here. Tree Dog, who
our guy Tree.
Yeah.
Met him. Another one we
him.
met. Yes. Go Blue, my friend.
And he said go Blue, but then he also said finally got to catch the live. So some people were asking, well, why is this Monday instead of Tuesday? Well, sometimes we have to move the show for different reasons. We try to keep it at Tuesdays as much as we can, but especially during this time in the off season, There's going to be times where we need to move the show, maybe take a week off. But because of my travel, my business travel, this was the only day I could do. And so we made it work. Right. But there are going to be times when, maybe you won't see me one week, or you won't see TJ, or you won't, like that's going to happen because things come up. But we're going to do our best. But it's also, I think, good sometimes take a little breather before we get into we start ramping up for the season.
We don't typically take shows off. I took that call-in show off like a week ago because I just was.
Yeah, we don't do it very often. I mean, I'd say compared to a lot of podcasts, we are one of the most consistent out there.
Yeah, do your job.
Absolutely. Asian Posh Doreen, you met me. Hey. Yes, we did.
You guys see those blue glasses? You guys see those blue glasses? Huh?
I love that. Well, she said she was independent now.
I know.
I think she's starting to sway over.
Oh, I know she is. So we had Doreen visit. She had her official visit to Michigan. She did have her husband accompany her. He was decked out in the scarlet red.
Yeah.
But she was also part of our podcast. If you guys missed it, she actually hosted the show for a little while. You did a good job, Doreen, by the way. It was very, very, very fun. I watched it. But she is now an independent, boys. She says, I'm an independent. So that means she is no longer fully committed to Ohio State. And we got her to admit on camera that Michigan is the better stadium. And now Doreen's probably like, don't stop. But it was a good time. Doreen, listen, you are always welcome in the Michigan, the maize and blue circles. You know that. You have a home here. And we will continue. Eventually we're going to get the full commitment. I understand it's not easy because of all the legacy ties in terms of your daughters go there. You went there. Husband's a diehard Ohio State fan, which shout out to him for being brave enough to wear the scarlet red. But I feel we're one more year away. We're going to, maybe even less, maybe a summer away. We're going to get Doreen to fully convert to the maize and blue. And we do have laser removal for tattoos, Doreen, and we will get the block M somewhere. We'll figure it out. Ankle, maybe ankle. We'll find
out. And Elisha back on that wide receiver train with the $1.99. Listen, Elisha can talk about wide receivers all he wants. If he's going to super chat, we appreciate the super chats.
If you want Elijah to stop talking about wide receivers, then show it on the field.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
40-yard wide reception by wide receiver drought continues. Yes, it does.
Is that true? Elijah always makes me look up.
So Roman Wilson versus Hawaii. He had
40 yards total, or like in one catch?
One catch.
A reception? Yeah, he's right.
The Bull says $9.99. Great shirt, by the way. He found a way to get shirtless without being shirtless, which I thought was
we really should have got a picture. I have a picture. We should have showed the audience.
Yeah,
beat up with a shirt, but it was a body shirt.
Yeah, send those, and we'll post more. We'll post more.
I got it.
I'll put it on my.
Shit, was it my phone that took that picture? I don't even know.
It might have been because it wasn't on mine.
I don't have it. Shit. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have it. I got pictures with Doreen though.
The Bull says next year I'll give you $100 for the tailgate catering.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I thought you. Whoa! Wait a minute. Initially, you said you were gonna fund the whole thing. Now it's $100.
In case people want to get like caviar and shit,
keep it. There was no food at the tailgate.
Somebody was grilling over at the tent.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't go over and look, but like where Chase Winovich was.
I had breakfast before I came. Yeah, Chase Winovich was there.
Yeah, Chase Winovich was at our tailgate. And shout out to Hailgate for having that and having us there, because we really got to enjoy the atmosphere right by the stadium and see everybody. That was so cool. But I saw somebody grilling. Just saying. Yeah,
and be on the lookout for more collabs with Hailgate. That's going to happen in the future. Good guys.
For sure. Always. Also like the ring of John shot their whole load Diadamo. So that's going to become a thing. We're going to need to make t-shirts. Les Austin, member for 6 months. Thank you for that. Thank you. I had a blast chopping it up with everyone at the spring. It was great meeting you, Les. I love the fact that so many of y'all came out. A lot of people here on this chat right now, we're out there. And that's how I think it's so cool that we've been building this place where we've got this community of fans and people that, and we don't see ourselves as celebrities. We see ourselves as fans too, in a way. And we try to do journalism. We try to bring you news. We try to bring you takes. But at the end of the day, we just like Michigan. I went to school there. I love the school. And this has happened over time. And it's just incredible that, this has kind of grown to this point. And it's because of everybody who's here, including Les.
Yeah, definitely. It was, and there was even individuals who were like, oh, I saw you, but I didn't come up to you. Well, listen, you ever see me, don't ever not come up to me. It's all love, man. Like, I have no issue. I mean, I ran into people at the gym. Like, we're always available, man. We're not too big for nobody. So if you guys ever see us, don't be afraid to come up and let's link. I've even met people at the grocery store. True story. So
and they were like, I watched the show. Nice.
Yeah. They said, well, no, he's like, are you on Michigan at the Voice of College Football? I was like, yeah. He goes, you're TJ? I was like, yeah. And so we just started talking. So it was cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it happened at the gym for me once. It was so wild. Too. And that was in Florida. Yeah. Which is like extra wild.
Yeah, I've only had it happen in Michigan, but
yeah. So people are watching all over the world, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Tree Dog with the $1.99. You guys I'll do an event for a real game.
If we did an event, it would be with Hailgate. They do it right. They already got it all. And Hailgate in my guy Dre showed me, he's like, bro, $25 all you can eat and drink. Like, they got it all set up. So I mean, if we were to do that, I'll tell you right now. All right, I'll tell you right now. I think I'm gonna go to the Ohio State game. So I'm quite confident I can get tickets. So if I do go to a game next year, it'll be the Ohio State game, and I'll let everybody know what's up. And I'll definitely be with Hailgate. So we'll see how it goes. Though early.
They do it right. They really do. So I think it's worth collabing.
Yeah, I got to go to that Ohio State game, bro. I have to go.
Elisha says, I expect Michigan to have a Penn State 23 approach versus OU. I want to say either I said that in Menace today, or I know I said that exact thing, because I do feel like they're going to pound the rock a lot against Oklahoma and get out of there with like a 24-21 type. If they win, I feel like that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like pound the rock as much as possible, throw a couple of times. Penn State 2023.
We don't know what we have yet with Chip Lindsey. I mean, in terms of like this offense, I don't know. I mean,
there are deep shots in the playbook. We saw a deep shot.
I'm still of the position this is a top 50 offense. I'm still of the position it's a top 50 offense.
Yeah, it could very well be top 40, top 50. It really depends. Maybe we can all pitch in on a suit. Okay. Well,
for what? B-Dub?
For
B-Dub?
Okay.
Or B-Dub or John? I don't know.
Yeah, I got suits. I'm good. Okay. You save your contributions.
Oh wait, no, a suite on the Michigan game. He means a suite for the Michigan game.
Oh, a suite. Thank you, Wolverine in Ohio.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's listen. If everybody funds it, we get maybe a sponsor, or say if everybody funds it, I mean, that's something we could look at.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. We'd have to make the logistics work on that one.
Yeah. Dan the Diesel Freak. Burks, going right at Burks here. I challenge you to this is that. Oh, I remember this from the Jackson Johnson show.
Well, I now know this situation. So Burks, is apparently this is like his arch nemesis. They're beefing. They got. It's like I think it's a friendly feud. I think. I know Burks was upset he missed the live show because Dan the Diesel Freak was calling him out. So yeah. So unsanctioned show Sunday 7 p.m. I want your answer Thursday. I don't know what that's referring to, but Burks, you have been called out, sir.
Elisha, I think I'm also concerned about the tight ends. Rare FS?
Well, it simply means fuck sakes. I don't know. I don't
Or free
Yeah,
safety, but that doesn't
exactly.
make sense here.
We have not heard much about the tight ends at all. At all. Not Marlon Klein, not Hogan Hansen, not Brady Prescorn. I mean, there's been little to nothing on those tight ends, which is interesting. Oh, for sure. Elijah says for sure. Rare for sure that we don't have tight end smoke because typically we're known for our tight ends, right? So we'll see. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of buzz out of camp about the tight ends.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with the tight ends. At least, I saw one tight end really ball out. I know that Marlon Klein can ball out. Hogan Hansen, I think, will continue to emerge and continue to show himself. And I wouldn't completely count out Zach Marshall either. Zach Marshall he's got that workman-like mentality, good attitude, always willing, always, one of the first in the locker room, first in the weight room. He like, you really can't count any of these guys out of breaking out. So I'm not concerned. I'll say it. I'm not concerned about the tight ends. I am very concerned about the wide receivers. I think that's still one of our biggest issues, and hopefully we'll do enough to make that happen. But
I'm still mad at Andrew Olish's dad.
Yeah, Andrew Olish's dad. That was sour for sure. Ramez with the 2, never host a receiver with a loaded gun.
What's that referring to, Ramez? I don't know how that's referring. Loaded gun.
I feel like there's like a movie line that.
Is there like did Plaxical Burrs come visit or something, bro? What are we talking about here?
Thambone with the 5. Why didn't Michigan sign wide receiver Derek Meadows? Bad loss. Also,
so that's
the
interesting.
Movie Sinners was excellent.
All right, I've heard a lot about the movie Sinners, but regarding Derek Meadows, so this is actually a recruitment we have some elite insider intel on. We actually offered the most money and he didn't come. We offered them, and I'm going to tell you right now, the individual, and there's 3 of us who know where we got this information from. Because the individual we got the information from doesn't even know we got it. So let's just say we were let in on a very private conversation. So that's far as we'll go with that. No more. But anyways, long story short, we offered the most money. He didn't come. He wanted more money from Michigan. He wanted even more than what we were offering. And he still went to, what was it, Alabama?
Yeah, Alabama. Yeah. So it's not like we didn't try in the NIL game to get him. But also, when you have the 129th passing offense in the country, wide receivers are going to pass anyway. They're because they're going to want to go somewhere where passing the ball is valued. Yeah. And let's face it, Michigan has not valued passing the ball much the last couple of years. It's been a run first, and I don't think that. I mean, I like the mentality of smash.
You can have both,
but you can have both. Georgia's shown that you can have both.
And then some will argue, well, Georgia's in a more fertile area for elite recruits, and you're not wrong. But shit, we can't keep making excuses. There are solutions to our problem. Michigan has to be willing to do them. Whatever. I'll say this. All right, let me just say this. I feel a little negative vibe with our show right now. I don't like it. Because listen, the team is good. We should be a good team next year. There's just a few areas that have some concern. Outside of that, though, I'm very optimistic about the team. I'm very optimistic about Bryce. I'm very optimistic about what this team can do next season. I just have a few concerns, but I don't want it to completely drag down the program or the team because it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. But I'm hoping that Michigan figures that out.
Absolutely. Elisha, wide receivers, and Evan Link. If we fix that, we can win a natty. I think we can win a natty.
You don't got to call Evan Link guy. You could just say offensive tackle. But wide receivers and offensive tackle, if we fix that, we can win a natty. I think we can make a good run in the playoffs for sure. For sure.
Yeah. I think with the look, the reason we're trying to get another wide receiver, we're trying to get an O lineman, is because we want to make it even more likely that a natty is going to happen.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we could get to the playoffs and go 10 and pull in Ohio State, go 10-2, get into the playoffs, and then go all the way and win the natty. I think it's possible with the personnel we have.
Kenji Davis says we're starting to sound like Steve Dace. Oh, please never, bro. We're not that bad. Come on now. I think when did he go to the movies? He went to the movies with his son and didn't even watch the game.
Yeah, we're not going to the movies instead of watching the Ohio State game.
Yeah, I'm not going to go any further on that. I mean, we know how we're not that bad here, right?
Yeah. Steve is a friend of Voice College Football, so we want to be respectful.
And he even says himself, I'm a very pessimistic fan. He is very pessimistic.
Yeah. All right. So we haven't even gotten. So we haven't. Topic. Yeah, we're
an hour and 18 minutes into the show.
Thank you for all the super chats, because that's it right there. That's the lifeblood that keeps this thing running. But we do have a couple more topics we want to hit. Recruiting updates. This is kind of a recruiting / portal update. But we've got some news on Brady Smeagol. Some positive developments. TJ, Brady Smeagol.
Yes, Brady Smeagol visited this weekend for the spring game. We've been keeping track of this quarterback situation for Michigan. We know Brady Smeagol's involved. We know Ryder Lyons is involved. We know Nathan Bernard is involved. We know the Ryder Lyons thing makes it a bit interesting because he's truly a 2027. What is going on? Brady Smeagol was trending to Michigan, then he wasn't trending to Michigan. Now he's trending back to Michigan. What is happening right now? Well, what's happening is Brady Smeagol's family they love Michigan. And he had a great visit this weekend. It was such a good visit that Steve Wilfong, who is arguably the best in the game, although I do know his accuracy has taken a hit, but it's a lot harder with NIL these days because things change on a dime. He has logged a prediction for Brady Smeagol to land at Michigan. And there is belief that this could happen sooner than later. And I know we kind of talked about that with Nathan Bernard before about he's on the verge of committing. But it does appear that Michigan's quarterback of the future of the 2026 class is going to be there's going to be some resolution in the near future. We'll see where that goes. But what transpired this weekend was a lot of good for Michigan. I mean, I see Moose's comment about FSU, but that does not, I mean, unless something has changed within the last, 4 hours that I'm unaware of, it does appear that things are pointing very well for Michigan and Brady Smeagol. We'll have to see where that goes, but what does Brady Smeagol offer to Michigan? Well, he is a top 100 player. I think he is the 6th, 7th number 1 rated quarterback in the nation. I think he's 70, second overall, something along those lines. Those aren't exact numbers. I don't have it in front of me, but he is one of the top passers in the nation. He's a polished passer, as you can see. He's not crazy.
7th, 247 Sports Composite. He's 7th in the country.
Interesting. Yeah. So let's take a look here. Are we learning live? Did Wilfong really switch his pick to FSU just recently? If he did, I'm out the loop because I've been in meetings all day. Let's look it up right now. Let's see. So as you can see with the highlight tape, though, he's a pretty good quarterback. He does have a high floor, maybe not the highest ceiling like a Nathan Bernard, but at the end of the day, he's a very good quarterback who would offer a lot to Michigan. But the question becomes, is he the one that Michigan lands? And I'm currently looking, Moose, and I don't see his switch to Florida State, bud. I see nothing about Florida State.
Yeah, I see Brendan Sinoni, FSU insider, has crystal balled him to Florida State. But
What's the date on that? What's the confidence rating?
yeah, I'm looking.
So Hail to the Blue is saying Wilfon did not switch to FSU. Yeah, I don't see that anywhere. So whatever, it is what it is. If anything has changed, I will update you when we get it. But long story short, it does appear that Michigan's in a good position with Brady Smeagol. We'll see where that goes. But look, he's a quality quarterback. I'll say this: if Michigan can land Brady Smeagol, and then that's year 2026, and then if they can pull off the Rider Lions for the Rider Lions for 2027, which we'll get into Rider Lions right now. What does this mean for Rider Lions? Because I do see people on message boards, and I do see people in the on socials saying, "Well, if we get Brady Smeagol, does that mean we're out on Rider Lions?" No, it does not, because Rider Lions is a 2027. Okay, it has no effect on Rider Lions. Plus, Brady Smeagol is not a Bryce Underwood where it makes a kid. He's not a Bryce Underwood where it makes the kid be like, well, there's no path to playing time. No, because what has been communicated very clearly to Rider Lions, and he has said this publicly, Michigan has laid out a clear path to Rider Lions coming in his freshman year, Bryce Underwood's final season, year 3, him going to the NFL after that, and then Brady Smeagol coming in as the starter for Michigan in his second year at Michigan, getting his body reacclimated, reconditioned, re-strengthened, ready to play at a D1, Power 5, Power 4 level. That is the current trajectory for the Rider Lions. So it does not affect that. Michigan is looking to get an official visit from Rider Lions. I don't know if that's been publicly announced yet on when that date is going to be, but that is where Michigan's at right now. They are pushing for Rider Lions for 2027. If we can get Brady Smeagol for 26, get Rider Lions for 27, and then Donald Taborn, who did also visit this weekend, who's not on this list, had another great weekend. We get him for 2028, then yes. Now, I know that's a lot of forecasting. It's very hard to project quarterbacks that consistently, but if that was the roadmap, which it does look like it's the projected roadmap, then that would be a great situation for Michigan. We'd be set at quarterback all the way till 2031, but let's see how things go. We'll work with Brady Smeagol now. We'll see what Rider Lions is interested in doing once he does official visits, but something we need to be aware of. Javion Osborne is the next player we're going to target here. He visited also this weekend, and we know the buzz, right? We know the buzz has been Notre Dame. We know that Notre Dame is willing to be not only more aggressive with NIL, but more transparent with NIL in terms of what he should be expecting once he gets to Michigan. And I don't think Michigan made a big enough move here to stop the momentum for Notre Dame and Javion Osborne. So it does appear to continue to be trending Notre Dame, but what does that mean for Savion Hyder? Well, Savion Hyder, who's not on here, but we'll just touch on it. He did visit Ohio State recently. The visit did go well, but from my understanding, Savion Hyder is still Michigan's to lose. Savion Hyder will be visiting Michigan on June 13th, which will be his next official visit, and that'll be quite honestly closing time. So, and I also want to stress here too, even though Michigan's not being completely direct with the exact figures that they're willing to give kids right now, that's not forever. That's not forever. That is a now thing until the House bill passes. Once the House bill passes, Michigan, from my understanding, is willing to be more transparent with what players can expect if they came here in terms of exact figures. They do give ranges and things like that, but give players exact figures on what they could expect when they come here. And quite honestly, we talked about this before. Michigan is slow playing this because why outbid yourself? 2, allow other teams to deplete their resources, and 3, swoop in and steal guys when the clock hits 0. I do believe that's Michigan's strategy. It appears to be their strategy. If I am wrong, which I don't believe I will be, but we won't know until October, November, December, then we'll call it. We'll call it what it is. But I don't believe I am wrong. I'm quite confident I'm right on that. But we're just something we have to be monitored. But as long as we're in the Savion Hyder sweepstakes, which we are, the Javion Osborne thing should not rock people the wrong way. We are aware of what's going on there in terms of the fan base, the community, and we know what's going on with Notre Dame. So let's just be mindful of that. Do not be shocked if he commits to Notre Dame, those losers in South Bend. Next player we're going to talk about is Dorian Barney. Interesting recruitment here because recently visited Michigan just a few weeks ago. Shout out to my guy Dre here from Hellgate. Shout out my guy.
Dre's here, yeah.
Dre Day. But yeah, so Dorian Barnes visited Michigan just a few weeks ago. Enjoyed it so much that he came back again, guys. Came back again for an unofficial visit. His parents really like Michigan. He really likes Michigan. 4-star cornerback out of Georgia. That sounds familiar. And the next step for Michigan here, and there is word that they're working on this, is an official visit to Michigan. This is a player that has quickly climbed Michigan's in terms of their leaderboard on corners. Dorian Barney is one of the players that are atop the leaderboard. Let's see where this goes. If Michigan is able to land the official visit, which appears to be in good standing, then that's the next step for Michigan. And if Michigan can close here when they do the official visit, that'd just be this is the type of player you want to add. A very good player, very versatile player at corner, good size, good quickness, strong player, a player that did not appear to be on Michigan's radar just, I would say, a month ago. Not radar, but did not appear to be a realistic target just a month ago. But within just a month, and I told you guys this, I think a week or two ago, there's going to be names like this who are now going to be coming to the surface. Players we were not aware of as targets who are now going to become targets that Michigan is going to be pursuing harder, a la Ty Haywood. Who saw Ty Haywood coming? Nobody saw Ty Haywood coming. It's that type of stuff. I'm very curious what other players, and we're going to see over the next few weeks, months, new players come to the surface, and it's something, again, we will just monitor together as a community. The last things we will hit on, and we are already all aware of these, and these are the portal targets.
Yes.
Not the portal targets, but the portal additions that Michigan has landed.
Yes.
CJ Hester, who
out of UMass this is a guy who ran for 529 yards, 4 touchdowns at UMass.
Yes. On 119 attempts, 4.4 average. This is Devin Hester's son, by the way. I think this is a good addition. I think he's a quality running back. I do think he makes the room even stronger. We lost Ben Hall. They need another player on the roster. And the next player that they added is John Volker. So his stats are 89 attempts, 514 yards, 5.8 average, 6 touchdowns. He is a bit of an upright runner. He is a bit of a straight line runner. I do think it's a depth thing. One thing that I think is interesting is, and we'll share this. So I know, so we added a player by the name of Donovan Johnson in our 2025 recruiting class. Well, he has unfortunately suffered another injury, a knee injury that is going to be season ending. Okay. So not only did you lose Ben Hall, but you lost Donovan Johnson for the year. And if anyone knows Donovan Johnson's story, he already went through an ACL injury that took him out an entire year, his junior year of high school, when formerly he was a 5-star running back. So not only did he have a knee injury his junior year, he now has another injury this year. So unfortunately for Donovan Johnson, Michigan has lost another body in the running back room. So that could be potentially the reason why you see 2 players added, as we have lost 2 running backs in the running back room. So just wanted to make everybody aware of what is the why to these additions. So I will say I do think CJ Hester makes the room better, and I think John Volker adds depth at least. And he's a Princeton guy, so obviously a high IQ player. But that's where we are. Then the question is, well, what's going on with the other positions in the portal? Silence. I don't know. There does not appear to be wide receivers we're having come visit. There does not appear to be other players who are scheduled to visit. It is very quiet. It doesn't mean there's not things being had. It doesn't mean Michigan's not making calls to the Asians. It doesn't mean Michigan's not talking to players. But it does mean right now it's quiet. But let me also stress, there's not a lot of holes on this roster. There really is only 2 holes on this roster. So I don't know. It's one of those things where, John, we don't have an answer to this. It's something we're just going to have to hope that Michigan is back channeling and something shakes. Like, hopefully we can land that wide receiver, or we can land that offensive lineman that makes us better for next year. If not, then we're going to go into the season and hopefully the development is good enough to where we can achieve what we're all hoping that Michigan can achieve next season.
TJ, I don't want to believe this to be true, but I think this is true. I just have a feeling they think they're good.
So what could
Like,
all right, John? Yeah.
They think that the wide receiver room with McCauley in there now. I mean, that's what it's looking like with the lack of portal wide receivers coming to campus and some of the lack of news that we're hearing. They might just think that they're good.
So we're about to go down another road here. But remember when they thought we were good at quarterback last year?
I know.
Remember when they thought we were good at right tackle last year?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Let's hope we don't have a blind spot in the program, man. But we'll see, man. You know, we're just gonna have to let it play out. Yeah. So to our guy Dre here, I can see Hester switching positions. Are you potentially projecting him to play wide receiver? I know there's some people who thinks he might get some run in the slot. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have anything on my end. No one has told me personally that's something that's been discussed. But I have seen people discuss that's a potential for him. So we'll see. If that is the case, then hey, look, I'm here for it because we need all the talent we can get at all the skill positions.
Yeah. So more to come. Obviously, we did, in addition, get that punter, which we did. I believe we reported on that on Saturday when we heard the news live. But Luke Bauer, who, we were talking about how Tommy Doman had a better year than Luke Bauer. But I think they needed to bring in somebody to challenge Hollenbeck. And you could tell that Hollenbeck was feeling the heat. He was performing better in the spring game with that heat.
And Hollenbeck played really well. Hollenbeck played really well at the end of the year, And you know what? Shit, you're right. Elijah's right. Anthony Simpson isn't even on the roster. Like Anthony Simpson, I think
Anthony Simpson is the one that we.
You're right. That's true though.
Is going to be.
We should have mentioned that. I'm a bit upset with myself for not remembering Anthony Simpson will be joining this roster, I believe, in June. So Donovan McCauley, Anthony Simpson, and my guy Dre here. So let's give Dre here some flowers. Dre says, I think we're underestimating the wide receiver room and they're going to shock us. Dre, I hope you're right, my friend. I hope you're right.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about Anthony Simpson earlier today, and I don't, for whatever reason, we I guess because we were focused on the spring game personnel is what it was. So we were in spring game mentality. But yeah, Anthony Simpson is coming, and I do think he's going to probably beat Samaj Morgan.
He's productive. He had a productive year at UMass. I still want another receiver, but
me too.
We'll see. It's the portal's not done. Players can still enter, and we'll just have to see if Michigan can make a play here.
GT says, I heard our offense kept it very vanilla because they thought Garrison would be there.
Yeah, I was told that too, but you know what? Garrison didn't even show up. Can you believe it? Garrison, come on, bro. Doreen came, bro. Come on, man.
Doreen came. Her husband came, even though he was wearing Buckeye gear. He still came. We had Buckeyes battle cry was in the house. There were Buckeyes that came to the game, but crickets from
Michigan was playing it safe. Playing it safe. They knew the Buckeyes were coming.
Yeah, for sure. So Ben Hall.
Yes.
Ben Hall has transferred the legend, the Super Bowl GOAT, Bill Belichick, who is dabbling in college now, has picked up Ben Hall. So he's been going after some. It's interesting how Belichick's been handling things. He definitely has been using the portal, and he's been looking at some players that are like Division II. He's been looking at some players from like all aspects of the college football world. And he saw Ben Hall as a potential asset to his team at running back.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like that move for him. I'm interested to see how Belichick uses him. Good luck, because I know he wanted a more prominent role, and he wasn't going to get it here with Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes. So, we'll see if he can make anything of it. One thing I will say is majority of the people who have transferred from Michigan outside of Xavier Worthy have not done anything with that, really just Xavier Worthy is the one I can think of.
Yeah.
I do know what's his face. Who's the wide receiver who transferred to Oklahoma? He was actually playing pretty well and then he got injured.
Angelo
Anthony.
Rapids.
Angelo Anthony. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was the one who transferred to Northwestern, AJ Henning, had some flashes too. But yeah, it's definitely been a mixed bag. I don't know what I mean. Listen, Ben Hall's going to a Freddie Kitchens offense, so who knows what you're going to get there, because they were very inconsistent when Freddie Kitchens was running the offense at the Browns. I remember how the Browns were extremely inconsistent, and then obviously he got fired, and then they brought in who they have now. But so I don't know. We'll see how he does as a college OC.
Yeah, we'll see. And I'm very interested to get. I'm actually very interested to have the spring game go live next Sunday and get everyone's reactions, because they can see. I want to see what everyone's reactions are. We're going to be here for your phone calls. We'll do a post game. We'll have a good time with that. And yeah, I was hoping it was going to be Saturday, man. Damn it! Why is it Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you doing, Big Time?
Elisha with the 5. Hot take: no starting wide receiver from 2024 will start in 2025, and he has McCauley at X, Simpson at Y, and then Z. Z. He's saying interesting choices on Z. Goodwin, Marsh. So no Fred Moore at Z.
Fred Moore. Well, you can't drop passes, Fred.
Yeah,
can't drop passes, my friend. You got to make those plays. So is it a hot take? I don't know, because
I don't think it's that hot.
I'd
say it's like a lukewarm, like after a couple ice cubes.
I would say it's an interesting take, because it makes a lot of sense. We know McCauley's X. Anthony Simpson is coming in June. He was productive at UMass. He very well could win that. What has Samaj shown? And I'm not I feel bad. I want these kids to succeed, bro. I want Samaj to fall the fuck out, bro. But let's just call it what it is. What did he show Saturday? He's got, this is a results business, buddy. My guy, is a results business. So Anthony Simpson, let's see what you got. And then let's see at the Z. Is it going to be Marsh? Is it going to be, can Fred Moore secure it? Is it going to be Goodwin? Because Goodwin does have the connection with Underwood.
Elisha is continuing with his evaluation of the Michigan offense here with the $1.99. So I love Marshall, but Haynes is clear RB1. Well,
this is the date of the offseason right now.
You can't really say that when Marshall didn't play, really. They're treating him as a starter, and they're not playing him.
Well, they pulled Haynes too, though, and Haynes produced more. I mean, it doesn't mean it's over. It's not. Listen, the running back battle it's not even going to get settled in fall ball. It'll get settled on Saturday. Whoever is productive on Saturdays will be the start. And I know people are like, no, it's 1A, 1B. They're going to split carries. To an extent, they will, but somebody's going to be primary back. Someone's going to get more carries. Who is that going to be? And that will be determined on Saturdays. Whoever is consistently productive will get more carries. I don't think this competition will be resolved in fall camp. I really don't.
No, it'll go through the season probably.
And they're both good. They're both good. That's why this is such a tough competition. They're both good.
Absolutely. So last topic today, NFL draft is coming. We will be releasing a video that we put together earlier today. We'll be releasing later this week. But we do have obviously some thoughts on Kenneth Grant, and to name the first one. it seems almost universally he's going to the Jags at number 5. But there may be a little bit of questioning as you get down the list. But TJ, kind of what are your overall thoughts on kind of the NFL draft and Michigan's players that we should expect to see?
I think we have the potential to break the Michigan record for most players drafted in the first round. We have Mason Graham, who is currently projected to be a top 5 pick. We have Will Johnson, who is projected to be a top 15 pick in this year's draft. We have Kenneth Grant, who's projected to be a top 25 pick. And then we have Colston Loveland, who's projected to be a top 30 pick in the NFL draft. 4 Michigan players. The record for Michigan is 3 first-round picks. We have the potential to have 4 first-round picks. So I am hoping personally Kenneth Grant falls at the Detroit Lions at 28. May not make it that far. I hope Brad Holmes moves up to get him, because I do think Kenneth Grant is I think he's a cornerstone player, quite honestly. I think Kenneth Grant's a beast. And then, John, I don't know if you want to go into the next set of players who are projected, or if you wanted to kind of hit on those 4.
Well, yeah. So to continue on in the first, we can kind of focus on the first round. But Will Johnson, somewhere between 16 and 17, it's looking like. So maybe the Arizona Cardinals is one idea. Given that Will Johnson is maybe the best corner that's available, it looks like he might be really suited to what the Cardinals are doing. I also see 17 as a potential rank for him, but he looks like he's. I mean, had he played all year last year, I think he'd be in that top 5 conversation too. But I think because of the turf toe injury and the lack of film post that injury, he's kind of going to be dropping to the mid-teens, it looks like.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think it helped his stock at all. I don't think it helped. I don't think it helped his case. But as much, I kind of want the Lions. I wouldn't be mad if the Lions drafted Will Johnson either, but we have so many corners, we don't need one. But we'll talk about our next group of guys here. So the next player who's projected in the second round is Josiah Stewart here. Big time player. Another player I would not mind the Lions getting. Really, Kenneth Grant, Josiah Stewart. I know I'm talking about the Lions, but that's my team. I'm good. I want them to get them. I'd be very happy with either of those selections in the first or second round. But Josiah Stewart's currently projected to be a top 50 pick. And then we go in, and then there's a gap, John. Bit of a gap here.
Well, hold on. So real quick, before we get to the second and third and fourth rounds, Colston Loveland is another that I wanted to cover. In the first round. So I think I could see him at the Los Angeles Chargers, number 20, number 22. Obviously, we know that Jim Harbaugh over at Michigan West has Ladd McConkey, and Ladd McConkey did great work, but they can't continue to only rely on McConkey. They've got to bring in more weapons for Herbert. Colston Loveland just seems like that guy who can look at what he did with 3 terrible quarterbacks: 56 catches, 582 yards, 5 touchdowns with terrible quarterback play. He's going to have Justin Herbert level quarterback play now in Greg Roman's offense. And of course, the familiarity with Harbaugh at Michigan.
The tight end matters in that offense. The running back and tight end matters in that offense. So, I mean, I think it's a natural fit. I think that's great thing to point out, John. You're not wrong there. I do think that's a natural fit for him. And then obviously, as we talked about with Josiah Stewart, top 50. Now there's a bit of a gap here. I do anticipate Khalil Mullins will get drafted. He's currently projected in the 5th or 6th round.
166.
Yeah, so 166 is the 5th round. So he's currently projected in the 5th round. So yeah, I mean, I think it's about right. A lot of running backs get drafted in the 4th, 5th, 6th round in the NFL draft. Typically, your better backs are drafted in the 3rd round. Elite running backs are drafted in the 1st round. Ashton Jeanty. But yeah, I mean, so that's where they have him projected. Now, Donovan Edwards is an interesting one, John. This is an interesting one because what team is going to take the chance on his potential? Because we know he wasn't used right. That's one thing I think many of us can agree on is that Michigan did not utilize Donovan Edwards properly. He had more to give. So currently he's projected to be a 6th round pick. I'm interested to see what team takes him, and I'm really interested to see if he can become a productive back in the NFL. Can he find himself a role and be productive? I'm hoping a team that knows how to utilize Donovan Edwards can draft Donovan Edwards, because I do think he has ability. The biggest hurdle for him is not falling down on first contact, though. But he also needs to go to an offense that'll put him in space.
Well, looks like 209 approximately is where he's being projected in the 6th round. And guess who has the 209th pick?
Chargers?
The Chargers, Michigan West again with this one. And this would be another that does not shock me, reuniting with Harbaugh.
Yeah, I mean, well, what's hilarious, and so this fits GT Super Chat, pull that up because this is hilarious. Guess who hired Kirk Campbell? Guess who hired
Jim Harbaugh?
Jim Harbaugh.
Although Kirk Campbell's basically like assistant to the regional manager,
and
he's like Harbaugh, Dwight Schrute.
So Jim Harbaugh, if anyone remembers, I think it was his Maryland game where Donovan Edwards went off. Jim Harbaugh said that he believes Donovan Edwards would be one of the best running backs in Michigan history. So we know well, that didn't happen, but we know Jim Harbaugh is very high on Donovan Edwards. So it'll be interesting. I would love for that. I would love for that draft. I would love for that to happen. Next players we'll talk about who are eligible to be drafted are Makari Page, currently projected to be an undrafted free agent, but you never know. 6th, 7th round picks can happen. Miles Hinton, I am surprised to see Miles Hinton is projected to be undrafted. I do think a team could take a chance on Miles Hinton in terms of like a 6th, 7th round pick, developmental pick. And then the other player that is also eligible to be drafted is Amir Hall, who I'm actually a fan of. I wouldn't mind if the Lions grabbed him and put him on practice squad. I think Amir Hall has a lot to offer. So that's where we are. Michigan currently has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players who are projected to be drafted or borderline drafted players. We'll see how many Michigan can get. Typically, Michigan's one of the higher drafted teams in the NFL the last few years. I do anticipate at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think Michigan will at least get 8 players drafted this year.
Yeah. And maybe 4 in the first
round. Yep. So that'd be great. That'd be great. Looking forward to that. Thursday. So just to give everyone a heads up, Wednesday, we will be doing the call-in show instead of Thursday due to the NFL draft at 8 p.m. So we'll be doing the call-in show Wednesday, 8 p.m. We will be doing a live mock draft with myself and Kinetic. And we're going to be drafting and just have a nice little, we'll do a call-in show. We will talk Michigan football. We will talk ball, spring game, everything. But while we do it, we'll draft and have some fun with it. So be on the lookout for that. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy. This is one of my favorite times of year. I love the draft. Thursday I have plans and I'm going to be having a good time. Yeah, so let's all look forward to that. Look forward to seeing everybody next Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yeah, so that's coming up at Wednesday at 8 p.m. And then Michigan post-game live after the broadcast of the spring game. Then we'll go live. We weren't able to take calls really this past Saturday, so this will be a call-in show. You'll be able to call in, give your take on what you've been seeing and what you saw in the spring game. I'm going to be fascinated to see it on tape because there's a lot of areas I want to hit pause and look at, especially line play. Some of the things that are hard to grasp when you're watching and then the moment passes and you miss it. So I'm really excited to see some of that stuff on tape.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to that. We'll have fun with that. So be on the lookout for that next Sunday at probably directly after the game.
Absolutely. We do have one super chat that I don't know if I hit. So Elisha's saying, whoever's more productive on Saturday. TJ forgot about how it took 4 weeks for the coaches to see that Mullings was clearly RB1.
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong.
They did take a while to adjust.
I know. That's crossed my mind, but I want to give Sharon the benefit of the doubt. It was year one. I do think he was trusting Kirk Campbell a lot,
Yeah, me too. I think.
Yeah, I mean, listen. do I have a slight concern in the back of my head that there's a potential blind spot with this coaching staff and the Sean McGee? Yeah. Yes, I do. But we'll see. You know, I mean, it's not a lot. Like, it's not like we have a lot of blind. You know, it's literally there's 2 positions that I think we need to be improving, and we'll see how they handle rotations next season. You know, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, it's possible Donovan Edwards was, as John believes, promised things, you know, promised opportunity, you know, after the Blake Corum situation. So we'll see, man. I mean, hope for the best here, Elijah, but I hear you, brother. I hear you.
All right. And with that said, we are up to date on Super Chats. Again, I do want to thank everybody who came out to see us on Saturday or who hung out with us at any point over the weekend. I know we couldn't get to everybody. I know we missed people, and we're going to do our best, obviously, to have more things in the future where we get to see everybody. But I had a blast. TJ, I know you had a blast, and it's just great to see this community grow and see everybody.
Yeah. Yes, it was. I mean, it was as ideal as we could have had it. You know, it was a really good weekend. So, yeah, definitely great. One thing too, we did break some news Saturday for the call-in show. For those who missed the breaking news on the what is coming for the Michigan Wolverines call-in show, Johnny Olden is going to be a permanent co-host with myself on the Michigan Wolverines call-in show starting May 1st. So we're going to be adding an Avenger to the channel. Johnny Olden is going to be riding as a sidekick to myself on the call-in show, and we will be talking that ish. We will be having a good time, bringing that heat, bringing that fire, and just trying to do even more for this channel so you guys can enjoy the community and the channel. So be on the lookout for that. Very excited to bring Johnny Olden to the channel.
And you never know. Maybe I pop in every now and then as a little surprise. You know, if there's big news, I might jump in. But folks, TJ and Johnny Olden Jr. now every Thursday night coming to you soon.
I got John on Tuesday and Johnny on Thursday. Let's do the damn thing, bro. Let's go.
That's it. You can catch our takes on X, including when we're in Ann Arbor and we're going places. We'll post on X when we're going places, so you can check it out at John Diadamo, at TJ_Ronin. Go ahead and follow us. And any final thoughts before we sign off?
Just go blue and go Pistons. Let's go, baby. Come on.
Go blue, everybody, and we'll see you next time.